Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week, hot off the press, it's just dropped, the brand new Pinarello Dogma F. We're going to tell you all about it and discuss some of the finer aspects of the design.
We've also got loads of hot tech coming up. We've got a new bike spotted in the world, a new group set has been spotted in the world, shoe dials are being sent into space, there's updates from MyWhoosh, and well, we've got a competition where you can win free stuff.
Plus, the big French bike ride is looming.
That big French bike ride. Check out our cool t-shirts, by the way.
Oh.
Right, let's get on with the show. Okay, so this week we are talking about the brand new Pinarello Dogma F. It's just launched. You've ridden it the other day, I've ridden it the other day, and it's said to be light up, fast up, more aero, kind of like all the good stuff.
All right, Daft Punk.
yeah, well, basically it's the Daft Punk song, but we can't play it because of copyright, so you just have to sing it in your head.
Well, yes, but it's kind of like new bike bingo, isn't it?
Pretty much is.
When a new bike is launched, it's like all of those things. Regular viewers of the show, they'll be used to that sort of thing. But I was quite surprised with some of the things that they've claimed about it. It's quite modest improvements in aero. Yeah,
well, I mean, when you're trying to refine and improve a bike, which is already in the upper echelon of performance, the gains and the results you get are obviously understandably smaller, right?
Yeah.
And Pinarello, I found this quite interesting. So they're basically saying they've tried to create the fastest road race bike that they could create, in their opinion, right?
Like the best all-round bike.
Yeah.
That's not a dedicated lightweight, dedicated climbing. And they've been doing this since the Dogma 65.1 Think. Back that Wiggins won the Tour on. You know, it's that strategy of one bike rather than a dedicated climbing aero bike, and they're persisting with that. And, you know, they've been doing that ever since then. You know, the F8, the F10, the F12, the F... It's all that. But then, more recently, well, first we sort of Specialized do that big shift away.
Yeah.
And they got rid of the Venge, just the tarmac. And now we suspect that TRiPEAK are moving in that direction, maybe, with the teasers that they've made.
Yeah. Well, I know we've briefly spoken about this before, but it does beg that question again. Is one bike ever really going to actually be faster than having two bikes? And how can you truly say one bike is the fastest out there? Because, hear me out, right? I'm not disputing that this is an incredibly fast bike, but fastest in what context and for who exactly?
I think, well, most people aren't going to own more than one bike, right?
Granted, yeah.
Especially not more than one super bike
no.
that costs that super bike money.
$14,000.
And you want something that's going to be able to perform well in all environments. And most of the time, you're not just doing an uphill time trial.
No.
You know, most of the time, you're doing...
Yeah.
You're riding downhill, you're riding through valleys, you're doing all this other stuff. And so I think it does make more sense. Plus, I think that thing of, you know, like Gordon, like I've said this before, this analogy, but I'm going to use it again.
Go on.
Because I think it rings true. It's that thing of like Gordon Ramsay when he goes on Kitchen Nightmares and he goes into a place and they have like loads and loads of stuff on the menu and he's like, you got too much stuff on the menu. You need to like trim it down and just focus on one dish that's like this cottage pie you make that's amazing. And then everyone's like, I want to come to that place that does the amazing cottage pie. It's like slimming it down for the customers so that they, you know, you just go, it's a simpler message. This bike, this is the best one.
So
get this one.
Gordon Ramsay's slimming down the bike industry's offerings. Not personally.
Not quite.
Okay, well, look, I kind of get the theory behind it, but I can also see like the counter argument that some people will want to make that if you want the lightest bike possible, it's not necessarily going to be aero. And the same can go vice versa, right? Now, you have actually recently just filmed a first look video.
Yeah. So,
covering all the details.
Yeah, if you want to get all the details on the new F, we have that first look video.
I think we should probably run through like a couple of the headline stats and stuff though.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing that I want to sort of mention here was that is the sort of sizing element of it. Because we go into the details of the sort of aerodynamic improvements in that video, but the thing that I think has the potential to make the biggest difference aerodynamically on that bike, and it's kind of, it feels like a bit of a sort of no-brainer, is offering more sizing options. Because the biggest thing that makes the biggest difference is you, the rider.
The rider,
right?
yeah.
So getting that rider into the optimum position, not just aerodynamically, but also so that you're comfortable, so that you can put out the right power and stuff. That seems to be like a big low-hanging fruit that a lot of, I think, bike brands are missing now. And by offering fewer sizes and fewer, options in terms of cockpit and seat post and stuff. And, it's like, they're refining all the tube shapes and stuff, but they're missing that biggest sort of obvious low-hanging fruit. And that's where this bike stands out.
So Pinarello have had loads of different options in frame sizes. That's not new for this model. But the new thing for me, and what you're kind of talking about, is like the handlebar setup, right? So there is a new handlebar for this bike, the Talon Ultra Fast.
And the Ultra Light. So you two handlebars.
So you've got two handlebar options. But the cool thing is the Ultra Fast handlebar has now gone like major, narrow, comes in lots of different options and lots of different stem length options.
Yeah.
And you can totally mix and match, because the traditional thought process for handlebars here has been like, well, if you want the longer stem, obviously you have the wider handlebar, but that's not necessarily the case, is it?
Yeah.
Sometimes people want the long stem and the skinny handlebar.
Yeah.
So to have that, I think is a really good thing. But it's not the first time we've seen a brand focus on like optimizing the handlebar and the rider position. So other brands have done this as well. And I think it's because everyone's starting to appreciate more that the riding position that the body in is equally as important as the bike.
People watching this will go, yeah, well, there is a solution to that. It already exists. It's like a separate bar and stem and not having all this integration. And it's like, yeah, you're right. We did used to have that. But in a way, we took a backward step by, they want to make everything integrated so that it's lighter, stiffer, and more aerodynamic. But then that's come at the cost of then the tooling to make all the different molds for all the different integrated cockpits has meant that you're limited, and then you don't have that. So it's like, they've taken a step forward, but they've also taken a step back. But now it seems finally, this is the first sort of big bike I've seen launched where they have like pretty much every single conceivable dimension of cockpit that you could possibly want, every width and every length of stem.
The combinations of all of the different options that are now available is actually mind-blowing, and to think how you would put that into practice, like logistically from a manufacturing point of view.
Well, I think
that's
kind of
crazy.
I think that is one of the areas where it is reflected in the price.
Bikes
because
are
of
more
the tooling
expensive.
But I mean, other people might not be aware of like the different sizing options, just the frames. Because like it's not obvious to everyone unless you've like gone on and looked at it. But there are like
smaller increments between the frames.
So you get like 53, 54, 55, like 53, 54, 56, 57, 5, 58.
Yeah.
Like it goes up in.
Rather than just going, do you want small, medium, or large?
Yeah.
Well, there's extra small and extra large, but yeah.
Yeah. It's like the sizes in between.
Yeah. One of the things, so if people haven't seen the bike already, at first glance, it doesn't seem hugely different, does it? But there are like subtle changes to it, which I think are making quite a big difference. Bottom bracket being one of those things for me. Like that intersection of the frame is now massive.
Yeah. It is, they've massively beefed it up.
Headset has gone skinnier, total opposite of the bottom bracket. But all in all, like I think it's a cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really, really smart bike, and I think they've sort of reduced the weight as well, which is we always hear this, but it's getting to a point now. I think it's quite significant because we've reached the point where an aero bike, and it is an aero bike, is now hitting that sort of UCI limit if required.
And under.
Yeah, so they were saying that they're 53 with SRAM, the new SRAM Red Access, which is the lightest group set now, is 6.66 kilos.
That's blowing light.
Without pedals though.
You're going to need pedals to ride it.
Yeah, so you put some pedals on it, that's 6.8. But that's blooming impressive. I mean,
so it's the first time for a number of years. You go, sorry.
Well, no, I was saying that our 575 that they've sent us is a bit heavier than that, which is
understandable. It's bigger.
So we've weighed that to be 7.2.
Yeah.
With pedals.
So it's kind of like what the thought process I'm thinking here is the UCI's weight limit hasn't changed, and generally speaking, over the last handful of years, everyone's gone, oh, bikes are too heavy. There's not really many bike racers that are at 6.8 kilos. But now, I feel like we're starting to see manufacturers get that weight down whilst also keeping those like aerodynamic features and bikes.
Yeah.
Which feels like another step forwards.
Yeah, but I think one of the other things people miss is like, yes, okay, if you're doing just an uphill time trial, yeah, it matters. But if you're doing, you know, the kind of halo event that a lot of us amateurs would aim for is something like the Adapter Tour, you know, some kind of Gran Fondo. And in those situations, I think people massively underestimate the amount of energy that you save the rest of the time by having a more efficient, more aerodynamic, sort of stiffer bike that's and savings in rolling resistance from your tyres as well in other parts of the course, because they're way more than the climb. So, you know, the amount of you can work it out, like the amount of kilojoules that you save even when drafting in a bunch in, say, like the valley roads in between the climbs become hugely significant over the course of the entire event. And
well, that was one of the things Pinarello said that they've like modelled and studied was Geraint Thomas's like energy expenditure over the Tour de France to help them develop this bike. I think it's cool. Should we put it out to the comments? People can let us know whether they think they would commit to like a do-it-all lightweight aero bike or still preferring like the ultralight bike or ultra aero. Well, I mean, let us know basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
what would you go for?
Like if I was just having to start from scratch, like spend my own hard-earned cash, I get it. I'd go the one bike option. I'd go the one that strikes the perfect balance for me.
It's interesting. I mean, I've you know, just been on holiday and I went into the mountains and I took a full-on aero bike with me.
Yeah.
I took the Canyon Air Road.
Well, you say you're on holiday. I did notice because you did like, put pictures on it everywhere. Not that I was jealous at all. So remind me where you went again?
Oh, all over the Alps.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stelvio.
Yeah, Stelvio.
I have so many pictures. That was all.
I'll take you one day.
I'm winding you out. I'm pulling your leg.
No, but like, I mean, it's heading that way now, where those, you know, for the pros at least, and you know, those top end aero bikes like the Air Road are now, the weight is coming down. Like, it's not a heavy bike.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I haven't really got much more to say on the subject. I'm just keen to hear everyone else's thoughts on this. Actually, I haven't asked you. If you could have like free choice, you got to spend your own money, starting from scratch. You're a new cyclist. What would you do?
I think as a new cyclist, the all-rounder's more appealing.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the majority of people...
And if you're having one bike,
the
all-rounder.
It's like a no-brainer, isn't it? We haven't got endless money. Well, some people have, but not me. Right, we'll read out the best comments next week. It's now time for Hot Tech.
It's time now for Hot Tech. First thing, got a present for you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Check this out. I got you a saddlebag.
This is cool. People will think I'm pretending that I'm excited, but I genuinely am excited about a saddlebag.
I know you would be. That's why I got you one. Because we're nerds.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't any old saddlebag, right? This is TRiPEAK's like new saddlebag, right?
Yeah.
But check this out. So it's got two compartments.
Yeah.
It's really small and minimalist. I like that. It's like nice and neat. But I've got one of these, and I've spotted you like spotting it on my bike, and I know that you wanted one.
Yeah.
So in the bottom compartment, you open it out.
Yeah. Open the bottom up.
And it's got the little ratchet set in there.
Rate that.
So you can just do little hard to get bolts with all the different heads, like Torx, Phillips, different Allen keys, all organised. You love organised.
I love organising stuff.
There you go. That's hidden away in there, and then it's got another compartment for just all your other stuff.
Oh yeah, you got some stuff in there ready for me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Don't steal all that stuff, will you?
Yeah, it's got some like patches and some levers and all.
Don't need those. Run tubeless.
There you go.
I do like that. That's neat. Thanks very much, mate. Is that a belated birthday present?
Yeah.
Thanks. Didn't want to mention that you didn't actually get me a present at the time.
That's right.
But, you know, no biggie.
There's loads more like cool stuff this week, though, isn't there?
Yes. The first thing I want to talk about, I actually just asked you a minute ago because you hadn't heard about it. So, the Sidi Techno 3 dial is going into space. Not because...
This sounds like a marketing gimmick if ever I heard one.
Not because astronauts are wearing Sidi cycling shoes, but because they're using that lace ratchet enclosure system on... I had to do some research on this. Apparently some sort of piece of clothing that goes around your thigh to restrict, like, I don't know, blood flow and movement when you go into space.
Right.
I've got some information here about it. It's being used on Expedition 71.
Right.
According to Sidi, these are designed to counteract the effects of microgravity on the human body, and they counteract the microgravity effects by preventing fluid shifts that can alter vision, a condition known as spaceflight-associated neuroocular syndrome, or SANS for short.
Every day's a school day.
Yeah.
Cool.
And next up is, I kind of actually wanted to mention this last week when Manon and I were doing the show, but truth be told, I totally forgot about it. A new SRAM group set has been spotted in the wild. I don't have any information about it. There's a few pictures dotted around here and there, but the picture that I saw was the group set fitted to my best mate Valtteri Bottas's
Your
gravel
best
bike.
mate?
Yeah, my best mate. Yeah, we're best friends now that we met in Australia.
He's
Yeah.
riding a lot.
He's doing more cycling than driving.
He won like a gravel race the other day.
Yeah.
I saw on Instagram.
So yeah, I don't have any information about it, but basically what I can say is when there's stuff to talk about, best place to be, subscribe to GCN Tech and we'll be able to tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Next up in hot tech, we've spotted some interesting equipment choices, haven't we?
Yeah,
The Tour de
the
Suisse.
Tour de Suisse, the TT last stage.
Yeah.
There's some interesting stuff. And I love these kinds of stages when there's that conundrum of it being an uphill time trial.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what do you use? Do you use TT bike? Do you do a bike change? Do you use TT helmet, road helmet? Like, what do you use? What do you use? You used to get that a lot in the Col d'Ez time trial.
Oh, yeah.
That always used to be the finish of Paris-Nice back in the day. And well, we're going to get a similar sort of stage at the end of the tour this year in Nice.
The big French bike ride.
Yes, the big French bike ride. If you like the big French bike ride and like big French bike ride themed T-shirts, we have some available at Shop.Global Cycling Network. Check them out.
Not for the Olympic bike race though, because we're not allowed to talk about Olympics.
No.
That's banned.
No. But yeah, it was like people were using TT helmets, people were using road bikes, people were using road helmets, people were using TT bikes.
Like the mixture is absolutely mind blowing. It's almost like people have just crashed through a selection of equipment and some of it's magnetized them. And like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing a time trial or a road race or going uphill or flat.
What would you go for?
Not this setup. I certainly wouldn't ride a time trial bike with road wheels and a road helmet.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be my choice.
I mean, it's the road helmet thing, I think, is a question of cooling. Because it was over sort of 20 degrees.
Yeah, but still, it's an aero road helmet with minimal vents anyway. Or would you just go down the route of Tom Pidcock and go, I'll just ride my road bike with shallow wheels and all my normal equipment?
He did well, though.
He did well.
He was like...
Sometimes simple solutions are
Wasn't
the
he like
best.
5th or something?
I don't have the results in front of me. But,
He was good.
On the new bike, nonetheless.
Yeah, on the new... Yeah, and interesting wheels. They're like some lightweight Princetons or something, it looks like.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
not sure.
very, very minimal, slight wavy profile going on.
It's like a halfway house wavy rim.
Yeah. I reckon you can bet that that's 6.8 kilos, that bike.
Yeah, I mean, totally
A
agree with you on
little Pidcock size.
that. Yeah, tiny. Anything more you want to say about the time trial?
No.
No, all right. Update on My Whoosh next. So, indoor virtual cycling platform are basically trying to convince people to migrate across to their platform by allowing you to mirror over your levels and achievements that you've got in Zwift, but on their own My Whoosh platform. Now, I'm not really sure this was a thing that was holding some people back on what virtual cycling platform they use, but apparently...
Are they allowed to do that?
I don't know, but they've released an update saying this is what they're going to do.
I guess it might be, because people go, I've already invested all of this time to get to level 50 in
I've done
Zwift.
4 winters of Zwift.
I've got all this XP, all these sweat drops,
Yeah.
and I've bought all these amazing bikes that I can use in Zwift. Why am I going to give that up?
Well, actually, I wouldn't want to give it up. Maybe I am the sort of person that this bothers. So I've got so many sweat drops on Zwift because I've never spent any of them.
Buy anything you want.
I don't buy anything.
Basically a millionaire in Zwift.
I think I've got like 4 million.
That's it, yeah.
Someone's going to comment underneath the show that they've got.
Have you got
more.
Tron bike?
No.
I have. Have you got Meilenstein's lightweights?
Yeah, I think I do have that. Yeah. Cool. Right. Next up, we're such a pair of nerds.
Not in real life.
No, I can't afford them.
No.
Get them if you buy them with sweat drops, though.
Yeah.
So the Lidl Trek men's and women's team, I spotted, I was talking to Dan and Dan spotted it and I've stolen it and put it in a tech show. They're now using aero water bottles on road bikes. Now traditionally, this would have been reserved for time trial bikes, right? But it would appear they're now utilising this tech in road races. Firstly, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are that, I don't know, I feel like it should be standardised that everyone just uses the round bead on.
Really? Oh, that's really hard.
Yeah, because
that's thrown me. I wasn't expecting
because of like
that.
it's a functional thing, and almost I see it as a bit of safety equipment. Because you think of like the accidents where like Geraint Thomas got taken out by a rogue bottle.
Yeah.
Right, in the Giro, ended his Giro, Teo won, spoiler alert. Then, but like aero bottles, aero, they aren't as good at staying in the cages. It feels like more of them are going to be bouncing out, and they're not as easy to grip.
Okay.
Like the ergonomics of the round bottle are there for a reason. It's like it's a very easy thing to grab as a sticky bottle from the car, but it's very easy to just grab from the side of the road or from a car because it's round and you just grab onto it. Whereas like the weird aero shape, it's just a bit weird.
This really
They're just not as functional.
Basically, I was thinking of the complete counter arguments of what you were going to say, but you've already said the opposite to what I was anticipating. So now I don't really know what I'm going to say. But I'm surprised that you're taking that stance on it. Basically, I think it feels like a no-brainer. I'm surprised that other teams aren't doing this. Having just spent a lot of the show talking about all of the little marginal gains and getting your bike dialed in, like why would you not just?
I think it's a performance benefit for sure, but I just think that I think that there are things that should be like the rules and should be like standard sort of things, and I think that one of them is the sort of round bottle should be a thing.
Well, I'm surprised. I feel the opposite on this, but we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, settle in the comments anyway.
Yeah, and also, name and shame, because I feel like every club run has one of these.
Someone that uses
the guy that turns up on the club run on the Sunday ride with the full aero bottles on their bike. Name and shame them in the comments below.
Yeah. Also, having seen the bottles, it would appear there's potentially a new Trek bike coming out at some point soon. Yeah. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. We've spoken about the Big French Bike Ride. We've got a Big French Bike Ride t-shirts. And then finally, in Hot Tech, we have a competition to win free stuff. So do you remember on my bike when we went to race the GFNY, I had some tricked out pulley wheels and bottom bracket from TRiPEAK.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a competition where you can win one of 5 TRiPEAK asymmetric oversized pulley wheels. There's a competition link in the description down below. You've got to answer one simple question, read all the terms and conditions, and then you can be in with a chance of winning one.
It's free to enter.
Of course it's free to enter. We don't charge people to enter competitions.
Yeah, and also if someone replies to you in the comments below saying that you've won, they're just some kind of like Russian hacker. Ignore them.
It's fake news. Also, if someone says, WhatsApp me directly on this phone number, please don't do that.
And give me all your bank details.
Yeah, that would be alarm bell should ring.
Yes.
Right, more Hot Tech next week. It's now time for comments of the week. First up are some comments from underneath last week's show.
I mean, I'm out the loop. I wasn't here.
Oh, right. Actually, I can hear your thoughts on this. Manon and I were talking about bike helmets for safety. Like, should they be mandatory, yes or no? What's your thoughts on that?
For the public to wear?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be mandatory.
Okay, that's cool. And I was floating the idea that £1,000 bike can be as good as a top spec bike, but only in one category and everything else it has to suffer in. Do you think that could be about right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that's the show, summed up in about 30 seconds.
Well, our mate Richard Bussell won the National Time Trial Championships, 10-mile Time Trial Championships in the UK, on a bike that cost less than £1,000.
Yeah.
TT bike, just...
Well, that cements it in.
There you go.
Okay, you read the first one out then.
It's from Dominic Brooks 5103, who says, 25 years ago, I bought a giant Onsei for 1,200. It was 105, but the old 1K bike versus the new 1K bike could not be more different.
I thought that was a really interesting point. The prices of how bikes have changed and what you get for that price is vastly different, I feel. Maybe something we can look at in the future. Andrew McAllister, this comment made me laugh. So you crashed and wiped out your wife Chloe, Alex, you're going to be hearing about this long after everyone's forgotten about the Durace cranks. Correct.
Yeah, completely took her down.
Yeah, we survived though. We're fine. Chloe's not angry.
For now.
She's not angry at me either. Yeah.
That's not what she said to me.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, underneath the Tuscany kit trail kit check, where Connor was explaining all about all the different gubbins he has on his bike packing expedition.
He loves gubbins.
He does love.
He loves gubbins, that lad.
Yeah. One comment says, "Why do you need to ride 500 kilometers in one go? They used to have done it loads of times, taking a week to do it. Use like panniers and enjoy myself." They say you can try and do it in 2.5 days and nights, getting precious sleep. I'll summarise this comment because it's very long. Essentially, they're saying, why would you try to do it in a big rush when you could take your time and enjoy it more?
Yeah.
Which I think is a valid point.
Because it's a race.
But racing is cool, right?
Look, this is one of the beauties of the sport. It can be so many things to so many different people, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when we did the Tour de Station thing. You know, smash that out, 1,000 kilometres. Could have done that over 3 weeks, would have been great. I agree, it would have been great, but it becomes a different thing. It's part of it is challenging yourself, and not everyone's into that. Some people really want to push themselves and see what they can do, and it's nice to do that sometimes, I think. But equally, I agree, it's also nice to just go on a nice jolly adventure. Stop off at some lakes, have an ice cream, and take it in.
That's the most British sounding thing I've ever heard you say. Anyway, moving on. Dreamweaver94 says, I definitely understand that work is work, no matter what it is, but it's got to be a good day when you're asked, hey, think you could go for a bike ride in Tuscany? Yeah, totally agree.
Nice one, Connor.
Yeah. Also, another video we had out the weekend was me putting the 6-spoke wheels in my bike, going for a bike ride and kind of sharing my thoughts more than anything. Two-Eyed Roy, great username. First thought, comparison time, put them up against the fastest time trial setup against the clock in less than optimal conditions and see how the difference in speed is, basically. And also try them against the sweet spot of aero rims, like 35-40mm marker. So maybe we could use these wheels in some more stuff in the future.
But again, I think also that equal to the last sort of comment we were talking about, you know, taking your time. It's also a thing of like, you know, you see it with cars.
Yeah.
Like people do stuff to their cars that doesn't necessarily make them faster, but they just think it looks cooler. And
different for the sake of being different.
Yeah, you can, you know, one of the nice things is you can customize your bike and you can do things to it to make it look cool. And you know, it doesn't necessarily always have to be about purely performance.
Yeah, someone did ask me the other day, like, why do they make these wheels? And I said, just because they can.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Max Sterling TV says, I'm really curious what the UCI rule actually reads, because if we go by your quote, the wheels have to have 12 spokes. These wheels do have 12 spokes, 6 in the front, 6 in the back.
That sounds like a UCI reach around.
Yeah.
If ever I saw one.
Also known as a loophole.
Yeah.
Right, it's now time for the bike vault. It's our favourite part of the show. Okay, it's now time for the bike vault. It's our favourite part of the show. If you want to play along at home, you can upload pictures of your bike via our uploader with a link in the description down below. We vote the bikes either be nice or super nice. If they're super nice, the bell gets rung. Ollie, first up this week, you have infiltrated the bike vault with your own bike.
Yeah, the new Dogma F.
Hey,
What do you make of that? It's in wheels.
it's wheels. Manon would be pleased. I think it looks incredible.
You like that?
Like, I'm lost for words. I was trying to pick faults with it, but I'm struggling, if I'm honest.
I mean, I've used the shadow stand.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've lined up the valves, the cranks,
Cranks,
biggie,
gears.
smalls. It's clean. Got rid of all the gubbins.
If I was going to be picky, I think
yeah.
I said this last time you uploaded a bike, you could have levelled the pedal off. I don't know that it's actually a rule, but you got to be held to high
Level
standard.
the pedal off.
Yeah, look at it. It's like
Since when was that a rule?
I'm just...
Level the pedal off.
Okay, right. Forget about me questioning you on the pedal. More importantly, did you not get a new Pinarello not that long ago?
Pinarello have swapped it for this one.
Of course they have.
Well, the other one...
Where's my new one?
The other one was too... Right? There were loads of comments under the video on the last one. People going, it's too black.
Too
It's
plain
black.
Jane. Yeah.
Non, you know...
People want to see something vibrant.
Yeah.
Well, this is vibrant. The colour of that is incredible. It's actually just outside the tech set where we're filming.
That colour reminds me of the... it's like the competition blue. BMW colour.
Oh, I hadn't thought about
The
that.
M competition blue colour.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it's blooming cool.
Yeah. Pedal level. Get out.
Sorry.
Right, next.
Right, it's by Mark, 1969, Klein Quantum Pro 2004, brackets custom painted.
Sorry, Mark. Pedal's not level. Nice.
No, that's fine for Mark.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Different standards for Mark.
Brilliant.
Love it, Mark.
I do like a Klein.
Couldn't do anything wrong with this bike. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we'll go super nice.
Yeah.
Who have we got next? Finch Amadam. Finch Amadam, 1979.
A CAD 12.
Yeah.
A glorious CAD 12, 105 groups of people, and Ultegra carbon wheels. He says he had a GCN water bottle that they won, but removed it for the Bike Vault picture. I like it.
What do you make of that then? Bit of a jaunty angle.
Jaunty angle, the bike looks like it's half fallen over slightly.
Yeah. Weird background.
I'm not really sure I'm digging the fake bushy fence thing.
No, it's like fake ivy.
Fake ivy.
Weird, no.
So the bike could be cool. There's potential there, but I think a little bit extra effort. Sorry. Nice.
Sour grapes.
Sour grapes next with a Ridley Icarus 2012. I like this.
I mean,
this is like a real entry spec bike, maybe. You think you're someone starting out, they've got their reflectors on.
Spoke protector on.
Typically, I would have removed those, but each to their own.
Yeah. And the dork disc.
Mm. I don't want to be mean on this bike because these bikes are brilliant.
Yeah.
This price point in the market, great. Bikes are for everyone.
I think, yeah.
You can't be mean to cool bikes like that.
On the proviso that they remove the dork disc.
In the future. You've got 21 days.
Yeah. 21 days from the publication of the show.
We'll come knocking on your door.
Yeah.
That would be weird because we don't know where you live.
Yeah. Crit.
Richie Logic 56.
Oh.
Spinergy boys. Rate those.
Wow. You love them, don't you?
Well, I've got a set in my loft in my garage.
I'm less convinced about Spinergies after my experience riding them recently. We'll show the clip.
Oh, it feels sketchy, that. Bloody hell. Oh, God.
Si said you look terrified.
I was. Fearing for my life.
Okay, so this bike, I know the pedal's not level, but I can forgive that.
Yeah. You maniac. Super nice. I think it's good. It's nicely presented.
Super nice for sure.
I really like that colour contrasted with the concrete in the background.
What colour actually would you say it is?
I don't know. It's like I'm colourblind.
Oh, I really like that colour. What is it? I don't know. I'm colourblind. Love the colour though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fab's Fair with an SL7 Harlequin.
Love the colour of this one as well. Do you?
I mean,
even Jacob's cracking up.
These monochromatic bikes really can be stunning. Can't they? They are.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Let me describe it for
really
you. Audio
something.
description.
Yeah.
The fork starts with a change of colour between blue, white, red, yellow, light blue, green, with a white backdrop. The colours placed over the top. Move up to the main body of the bike. Okay, I'm over this.
Right.
You get the gist.
There's just too much gubbins going on there. There's just too much gubbins, isn't there?
Yeah.
Look at the size of that saddlebag.
Right, that could be a nice bike.
Connor going bike packing.
It could be nice, but it's a bit too much going on there for
Yeah.
me. It's a nice. Unfortunately, that was the last bike.
Where is that, by the way? That is a nice place.
I don't know. It looks good.
Yeah,
don't have
a nice
that
place to
information.
ride. Oh,
Yeah, okay. Please do get involved in the comments section down below. Let us know your thoughts on the one bike to rule them all kind of thought process. And we'll read them out next week. That's it for this week's show. Ollie, it's been great having you back. Hope you had a good time on your holiday. You look brilliant. Right, we're out of here. Bye.